Hi, this is Sushant Madhubalan. Today, my groupmate Vivek and I are going to talk to you about our project for the visualization course. Picture this scenario. You're with a group of six friends and you plan to visit New York City. You plan to take an Airbnb. You have some things in mind, like you want to take it at a particular location, you want it at a specific price range, and you also want some great reviews. It should also be able to accommodate all of you six people. You also want to see previous trends from the years prior to 2021. Our project has got you covered. Now, Vivek will be explaining to you about our dashboard and the various features in it.
Our dashboard consists of six major components. And this is the map of the New York City, the Big Apple. This map represents five boroughs of the New York City. On hovering onto a particular borough, you can see the name of the borough, the number of properties it has, the average price of all those properties. On if you want to focus on a particular borough, you can click on a borough and focus on those particular listings. These red dots, which are appearing on borough, are the geographical locations of these listings. And this is a bar graph of neighborhoods. This represents the top 20 neighborhoods which are sorted based on the number of properties it has. On hovering onto a particular neighborhood, you can see the number of properties that the neighborhood has. For example, you can even select on a particular neighborhood you wish to live in, and you can see that these are the locations where the listings are located. You can even select multiple neighborhoods and know where are this located. You can even boil down this to one location by interacting with the other charts that our dashboard has. You can even see the availability of that location. And this is a word cloud. This word cloud consists of the popular tourist attractions around the selected Airbnbs. When you click on a particular tourist attraction you find interesting, you are redirected to a Google site. For instance, I am very much interested in Domino Park. I want to see what I want to explore more about the Domino Park. Then I can click on a Domino Park and I am being redirected to a Google site. Here I can explore more about the Domino Park. And this is how the our word cloud suggests the popular tourist attractions around the selected Airbnbs. And this is a parallel coordinates plot. In our parallel coordinates plot, we have used six major features that we found that a user needs to boil down his search for the listings that he want to live in. This is the number of accommodates that a listing allows. This is the number of bathrooms that a listing has, the number of bedrooms that a listing has. This is the name of the borough that the listing is in, and this is the price of the borough, and this is the rating of the borough. And users can even correlate between two features by shifting the axis. We have even enabled the linking feature so that the user can boil down his search preference based on his requirement. For example, a user, there might be a user where he want to go along with six people, and he want to live in Brooklyn. Then he can he can interact with our dashboard using the linking and brushing technique that we have implemented in our PCP plot. This is a scatter plot which is plotted against the price and the rating. On x-axis we have price of the listing, on y-axis we have the ratings of the listing. User can select we have enabled the brushing technique in the scatter plot so that the user can select a price range and a ratings range. For example, if the user want to see the properties which have high price and a high rating, then user can select on those properties, and these are being reflected in the other charts. And user can even boil down his search to one property by interacting with the other charts. For example, he user might want to live in Bronx, and even he wants to live in bed. He just wants one bedroom, and with and there are two people with him. Then in this way, he can boil down the search to one property. And this is a line plot. This line plot represents the number of properties that are available for a certain period of days. This basically helps in understanding the demand for those properties. For example, the properties which are near to the origin are highly demanded, and the properties which are away from the origin are not that demanded. So if the user has not booked prior, then these properties are highly likely that they are not available. So in this case, the user has to choose these properties. And we have even implemented a timeline where the user can go across 3 different years so that he can find some interesting insights, and even he can know some historical trends behind these 3 years. And now my friend Sushant is going to continue.
So I'll be talking about some of the interesting insights that we got to know while implementing this project. So let's talk about something like let's go to the year 2021, and we see that there are as Vivek had suggested, I told earlier that on hovering over these boroughs, we get to know the number of properties and the average price. So you can see that there are about 560 properties in Brooklyn and 556 in Manhattan, and about 236 in Queens and 55 in Bronx and 19 in Staten Island, right? So it is quite intuitive that Manhattan and Brooklyn have the most number of properties. And this trend continues even in the previous years, as you can observe here. So, in most cases, Manhattan and Brooklyn are having uh, a very large chunk of the Airbnbs in New York City. Similarly, even in the year 2019, you can see that Manhattan and Brooklyn are in the 500s, whereas the others are far behind than these two. So they are probably the most sought after locations in New York City in terms of demand and supply. Then we also saw that let's talk about the average price. Um, so in the year 2021 and prior in the year 2020, we had we have the pandemic, and it affected the tourism industry. And we wanted to check if this has also affected the Airbnb industry, specifically in New York City. And as you can see, like in we are in the year 2019, and the average price of a property in Manhattan is about 173. Uh, in 2020, it was 172. It didn't change much, but this is when Corona happened and the prices got reflected in 2021. And you can see that there has been a significant drop in the average price of a property in Manhattan. So it has gone from 172 to 146. We have noticed something similar to it even in case of Brooklyn. So here in 2021, it is 112. Whereas if you go to 2020, it goes to 124, and similarly in 2019, it was 121. So the we can say that the COVID pandemic has kind of affected the average price of an Airbnb in particularly in Manhattan and Brooklyn, where most of the financial institutions and offices lie. Also, there was one more interesting thing that we saw, that as Vivek had told you earlier, that the line plot talks about the demand of a property. So if there is a property somewhere close to zero, it means that that property was available for 0 days in the last 1 year. So which is a very high demand property. Whereas if something is available for, let's say, 365 days, it means that it was available throughout the year. So that's kind of, it signifies low demand. So as you can see here in the year 2020, the demand was kind of distributed. Uh, I mean, you can see equal number of properties almost everywhere. But when we go to 2021, there is a huge spike in the number of properties uh, that were available for the whole year. That's close to 200, right? So that could have been due to the lockdown and the restrictions in the past year. 2020 to 2021. So this was one more interesting insight with respect to COVID. Then, as Vivek had spoken about the various features in our project, we can really filter out to just one property as well. So I thought we could try some of these features and explore them. So let's talk about, we are in the year 2021 right now, and let's uh, go to Manhattan. Yeah, yeah. So let's filter out Manhattan. So if we try to filter out properties which are below $50, a little bit less. So you can see that most properties are in the northern part of Manhattan. Probably those are, they are towards the northern part of Manhattan. But let's try to move a bit above. And as you can see, as we increase the price range, the properties closer to the financial district begin to appear. So yeah, so we can say that the price of properties north of Manhattan are lesser as compared to the price of properties in the core areas like the financial district and the area somewhere here in Manhattan, which have a very high property value, which could be explaining the high Airbnb price. Similarly, you can also check for Brooklyn. So Brooklyn, if we go for a lower price, so they are kind of spread out throughout Brooklyn. And when we increase the price slightly above 100 and we go towards the 200 mark, we can see that there are a lot more properties getting concentrated towards this part, which is close to Manhattan. So it kind of tells us that, as you move closer to Manhattan in Brooklyn, the average price of a property is bound to increase due to the proximity to Manhattan, of course. So now let's also talk about, like, we found this very interesting insight. So let's say you want to live in Brooklyn and you choose the areas, let's say Williamsburg, or there is Bedford. These have a lot of properties. As you can see, there are more than 210 properties available in these areas. And you can also choose, let's say, so, and these are also very close to Manhattan. As you can see, they're very close to Manhattan. And let me see any other area. Okay, so yeah, so right now the average price here is 111 dollars, and you're getting to stay close to Manhattan. Probably the J train should allow you to should take you to Manhattan right across. Um, let's try to check what would be the price in an Airbnb in New York in Manhattan. Okay, so in Manhattan, let's try to focus on areas that were close to what we saw right now, and they are, let's say, Midtown. Then we have Chelsea. We have Lower East Side. Then we have the Financial District and say West Village, Soho, and yeah, Gibbs Bay. So these are properties which are in the vicinity. Let's check their average price. So it's 170. So that is a very big increase uh, from, I think, 111 to 170. And all of them are in a very close proximity of each other and directly connected just by one train, which is the J train that takes you from here to there. So this was an interesting insight. There was one more thing. So as Vivek had told you about the PCP, and it is used for finding correlation among different attributes in the data. So let's try to check if, let's go to the year 2019. let's try to filter out properties in Manhattan and check if there is any correlation between the price and the number of bedrooms. So in order to see correlation, it makes it a lot more convenient if you can rearrange the axis, right? So we have implemented this feature so that we can rearrange this axis. And let's go to one bedroom. So as we shift upwards, we can see that the price also kind of is kind of moving upwards, which suggests a positive correlation between the number of bedrooms and the price, which is kind of intuitive, right? And it confirms what we intuitively think about. Okay, so let's also talk about some of the use cases. Like, let's say we go to 2021 and there are two people who want to, let's say, stay in Queens. Like they are coming to New York and they want to stay close to the airport. So Queens, and I think the one of the closest localities to the airport is Jamaica. So we click on Jamaica. So you can see that this is the JFK airport and these are the properties close to the airport. Um, and the average price is about $77. There are 5 properties. Now, as we know, this chart talks about the demand, right? So if I brush on this particular part of the graph, I can see that there are 2 properties and the average price is 72 and they are highly available. So it means that if they make a spontaneous plan, they are likely to get this Airbnbs. Whereas if they move to this particular property, they may not get it because it is less available. Let's check the average price. It is 82. And for this, it is 72. So it kind of says that, with higher demand, even the price of the property increases. And also, like, the workload here talks about various tourist attractions. So right now we are in Queens, right? So let's say, they want to go to the Queens Museum or Queens Zoo. They can just click on it. It takes them to a Google search, and uh, it really makes it a lot more easier for them to explore the places. And talking about the workload again, let's brush Brooklyn and Queens. So you can see that there are quite a few tourist attractions being suggested here. So the thing that has been implemented is that the number of words being suggested are proportional to the number of properties in the respective localities. So let's say you choose a lot of properties in Brooklyn and quite a few properties in Queens. The most of the words there will contain tourist attractions in Brooklyn. So that makes it kind of more relatable to where the properties are resided in the map. Properties are located in the map. Then also, let's go back to what we started in the beginning of the video, and that you wanted to picture. We wanted to imagine that we are with a group of 6 friends and we are visiting New York City, and uh, let's say, yeah, you want to stay in Manhattan, and let's say the budget is 100 to 200 and the rating is 9 to 10. So these are the properties available. The average price is 157 and these are the places that we can visit. So some of the, like, Statue of Liberty, and so since we are talking about Manhattan here, so all of the tourist attractions are in Manhattan, like Rockefeller Center, and there's a lot to see in New York, right? So the list goes on and on. So with this, I would like to conclude this presentation. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.